So we are going to shuffle on now. The next topic is a really interesting one. We're going to separate this topic into a few different ones, but we're going to talk specifically about the Variety article that highlighted Dwayne Johnson's power grab move for DC. And then we'll talk about the other bits and pieces involved within that. But first and foremost, just that as the topic of Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, trying to control DC, which we'd heard rumors of anyway. But this also highlights the very adds a new dimension to his commentary of there's a new hierarchy of power at DC. I mean, yeah, he wasn't kidding. That's basically what he was trying to do. So this is again part of a Variety's bigger article, but they say as 2023 kicks off, DC bosses Gunn and Safran continue to sift through the rubble and will soon reveal their 3-year interconnected vision for the cinematic universe, which won't include Cavill's Superman or Wonder Woman at all. But things could have gone an alternative direction. Behind the scenes, a different group made a play for control of DC. Not long after the Warner Brothers Discovery merger closed in April, Dwayne Johnson directly pitched to CEO David Zaslav a multi-year plan for Black Adam and Cavill led Superman, basically Black Adam and Superman, in which the two properties would interweave. So this was his vision for DC. You'd have Black Adam and Superman interweaving and culminating in a Superman versus Black Adam showdown. So sources say Black Adam producers Hiram Garcia, who is Johnson's former brother-in-law, and Beau Flynn also were part of the brain trust looking to take DC down a new path. Other sources confirmed the meeting but downplayed any discussion of Black Adam's future. Although the move took place amid a power vacuum created as former DC head Walter Hamada and Warner Brothers film chief Toby Emmerich prepared to exit, it ruffled feathers internally, sources say, because Dwayne went around everyone, which didn't sit well. That's a direct quote, says one source. So eventually, Warner Brothers film co-heads Michael DeLuca and Pam Abdi approved a Cavill cameo in Black Adam, despite the fact that Emmerich had made the call in 2018 to find another actor to don the red cape. And then obviously it just goes into the fact that, interestingly, Black Adam's failure obviously led to Cavill exiting the role permanently. And they say, and this was interesting as well, Cavill then parted ways with his manager, which is Johnson's ex-wife, Danny Garcia, this year, which I didn't realize. And I don't
Didn't I tell you this?
Big news. No.
I thought I told you guys this. Oh, no. Maybe it was on I know I've gone through all this before. Because, stuff is all stuff I've reported on. Others have reported on, too. That, like we were saying, it was Danny Garcia and The Rock were pushing this whole thing behind the scenes. Now, Pam Abdi and Mike DeLuca, they are a little bit to blame on this because at first they thought going forward what was going to happen was they were just going to try and be able to reconfigure things and maybe, kind of hit the reset button. But as soon as Zaslav said, oh no, we're going to get somebody in here to just basically take this over. And as I said, he wanted James Gunn from the start. That's kind of where, like, a lot of people that are going after James Gunn for this Henry Cavill shit, he had very little to do with that. Like, this was all Danny Garcia and The Rock pushing this. He did not have, that was one thing that Grace Randolph was right about, was that he did not have the contract signed, which I said is very true. But that's just because they haven't gotten to the point where they've decided what they're going to do yet. And that's what I had said. And clearly that's not what the direction Gunn wanted to go. And I think, frankly, Zaslav didn't want to pay the money that they were going to have to pay for Cavill, to be honest. And I think that's part of the thing with a lot of these actors is we got to remember they would be on their 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th appearance of these characters.
Yeah, it just goes up, doubles, triples, whatever.
Troubles, exactly. Like, like just like with Marvel, that's why Paul Rudd got $8 million for Endgame when he was only in it for 10 minutes.
Now, I think the other interesting part of this article, it says, meanwhile, the Johnson-Warner's relationship already was wearing thin after Johnson pushed for a producing credit on the animated film DC League of Super Pets, which opened in July, but did nothing to promote it, basically. And the actor also insisted on a tequila bar at the New York premiere of Black Adam. I didn't know this. but that was to feature his own brand of tequila, despite the film being rated PG-13. Why the fuck would you do that? What a stupid, like a Black Adam tequila. I don't get the connection, you know. Like it's not like they don't go together like cheese and crackers, you know. Like it doesn't work.
It's been the in thing for these celebrity bozos to go down to Mexico and do a deal and create a tequila in some stupid name that they create. He's not alone.
Did that trend start with from the show Entourage on HBO?
Avian. You know, Entourage was always kind of like ahead of its time with stuff like that.
Yeah,
which I loved. You know, but even then, maybe it was like a playoff of by then wasn't LeBron already with Patron? You know, so yes, yeah, you know, but yes, you know, get out of here with that.
Yeah, but it's so. I just thought this was an interesting topic. Like I said, this is part of a bigger article, which we're going to get to in a minute. But bigger elements of this. But I get, you know, because they're like, oh well, you know, Dwayne went around everyone, which didn't sit well. I mean, he has to. That is, you have to do that. But obviously, his pitch just didn't work, and David Zaslav wasn't happy with it. And then, of course, you know, his weird demands wasn't going well. Where was the demand for this? I guess there wasn't any, was there? So this was never going to go down very well.
I feel like The Rock is in a position in his career where he feels like he should be able to push and promote and do all this extra stuff that nobody else could ever get away with, and he should be able to just because of who he is and where he's at in his career.
Well, speaking of overrated individuals, Nick, and I'm not trying to say that The Rock is overrated in any way, but I think he thinks he's bigger in his own head than he really is.
Yeah, I agree.
And there's a lot of other people who have bought into that, and it's hype, you know, it's hypnosis. It happens. But if you look at it, sure, Black Adam was The Rock's biggest solo opening, and as far as I know, box office to date, barely.
Yeah. And it wasn't even that big.
And that's what people don't understand, and that's why I've kept trying to say The Rock is not this big star, at least in the U.S., that everybody likes to make him out to be. Outside of the U.S., he does a bit better, you know, but he's still no Schwarzenegger, right? He's still not on that level to where he can rock things stateside and outside the U.S. No, not to the extent that he even thinks he is. That's the sad part. And granted, I have nothing against him personally. I have no bias one way or the other. I've never really liked or disliked him as an actor. I thought Black Adam was fine. You know, like I didn't hate it. Yet. I thought it was all right.
It was fun. I had a good time.
Yeah, it was all right. I thought it was.
It's entertaining. It's not a great film. It's entertaining.
I thought The Samaritan did it a little bit better earlier in the year with Sylvester Stallone. Same kind of story and concept. Very, very similar in a lot of, even in the tone of it. You even got a little kid trying to encourage, you know, the whole little, it's very similar in a sense. It's kind of weird, but no, like on that respect, no, it failed, Rock. That's all there is to it. It didn't generate the buzz everybody hoped. Neither you nor Cavill were enough to get enough butts in the seats for anybody who's on the upper echelon of Warner Brothers to even remotely consider this as the future of DC. Right. At this point, it's pretty clear we don't know what James Gunn is going to do. And that's what we'll get into this next part here. Because the next part of the article is the part where I'm just like, oh my God, here we go with more. Nobody knows jack shit right now for sure, except for James Gunn, Peter Safran, and David Zaslav. Anybody telling you anything else, they are just telling you flat out rumors or lying to you for scoops. And you have to understand that there's a misinformation campaign going on right now by a certain sect of fans. I'm not going to say them by name, but they are actively trying to get this whole thing derailed and turn everybody against David Zaslav and James Gunn. Now, again, I'm not saying everything they're going to do is going to be good. I have no fucking clue what they're going to do. I just know this for a fact, that that's what's going on right now. So I'm taking everything with either a grain of salt or not believing it at all. And James Gunn has been trying to kind of handle some of these rumors, but he's also giving political answers to everything.